Hello, everyone. Here we are, and I'm with the lovely Annie Catford this evening. Annie had her jab yesterday, so I'm actually really glad that today she's with us. I was a little bit anxious when she told me that she might be unwell today, because some of us have been a bit unwell with these vaccinations, but we're all good. And I'm very pleased also that Annie has already bought her attic teas ready for the closing. Here is one was earlier. That's it. Yeah. You've got her attic teas ready, and show us the little tea maker you showed me just now. It was on. You've got it on the side. It's lovely. Look, that's what you get when you send off for your.
That's 1 teaspoon of leaves.
Wow.
And they swell up.
Yes, I love that tea that does that. I buy the little balls that when you put them in your tea cup and then they emerge into a flower, and then all day I just add water to them all day. So I have just one of those a day. But yeah, I've ordered my attic teas ready for the closing ceremony. And if everybody wants to do that, you just go onto the website and the links are there and the discount code is on there. I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. It's exciting.
You can't wait for the end, you mean?
No. But I am looking forward to the actual tea ceremony. I think it's going to be lovely, and to honour what we've done again. And don't forget, everybody, that we're raising money for Royal Papworth Charity, and the link is at the bottom of the screen again. So hopefully you have all made a little donation. Every penny counts is what I would say in this instance. Every penny counts. Also tea bags and chocolate. So you can go via the Amazon wish list. Sophie's got her tea set, and you can win a set. You can win a set if you go onto our Facebook or Instagram, and you like our Instagram, and you like Attic Tea's Instagram, and you leave a message for us, and then you'll go into the draw. So far, we've done 2 draws. We've done one for a bag and one for the new notebooks that we've got ready for the next program. And it's been lovely to see people, making their comments. And some of the questions that we're using for this Art360 have come about through those giveaways. So, yeah, thank you, everyone who's contributed. So, Annie Catford, filmmaker, photographer, all-round special person. Annie's going to be leading this evening. She's going to be giving me instructions on what she wants me to do. So I believe you've made your own introductory film.
I have, and I'll just explain why.
Yes, please.
Because everyone else has been 2D or 3D artists, and I think there was one other filmmaker, or he was a photographer, wasn't he?
Yeah, Zach Adams.
And I have nothing physical to show you, only film. And a little tray of goodies, but just in case. But so my introduction to this will be film. So don't go away thinking it's an advert and go and make yourself a cup of tea and come back hoping, because it's all carefully made.
It's all been carefully orchestrated by Annie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen with Annie's introduction film, and I'm going to just put us down in the corner while that happens, and then I'll turn it on. So here we go, Annie. Oh, hang on.
Another aspect of filming that I want to explore, and that is...
Oh, where am I?
Oh, can you not see it? Can we not?
It's not moving.
Objects interfering with the film.
Hang on a minute.
Or interfering...
No, that's another film.
Oh, that's not working, is it? Hang on a minute. Don't panic, people, because I can see the right one happening.
It's the right picture, but the wrong sound.
Yes, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Hang on a second, because I've got to work out where that one is and why that one's playing. Ah, I see which one's playing. It's The End of the Wood is playing, and I didn't click that one to come on. So hang on a moment, people. Bear with. Right, so End of the Wood, awareness. Okay, you're going to have to just hang on a minute. I don't know why the wrong one came on. That's really Rather strange, because I clicked the right one. Bear with me. We're all going to get this right film. We're resilient. So it's that one then, and it's that one.
You had the right picture.
I did have the right picture, didn't I?
Hmm.
But the wrong film
Sound
was playing, and that's really odd.
And yes, it's a self-contained film.
Yes, right. We're going to have another go. Take two. Let's see if we can get the right film this time. So it is definitely that one. I'm just going to reassure myself that I've got the right one. And it's definitely that film there. And share. Right, so we've got the right film. That's the right film, isn't it, Annie?
Yeah.
Right, good. Okay, so I'm going to turn your mic off for a moment. Right, and I'm going to play this film.
Hello, my name is Annie Catford. I trained as a painter, but now work almost exclusively with film. Since all of the lockdowns, I've been able to combine all the activities I most like. That is, going out and staying in. Going out to do the filming and staying in to process it. I've made and shown films before with different musicians. In this clip, you can see the Zen Bicycle Band playing live to my films that they had never seen before. Their free-form style suited both the occasion and the images themselves. That evening, I showed 8 short films. The soundtrack to this film is by the same band, and this track is Be Free. It lasts roughly 2 minutes 30 seconds. I made it entirely from still photographs taken in a garden near Appledore. Films made from stills can be calming, but I do feel something has to happen with colour, movement and focus to keep it alive. The Zen Bicycle Band now playing are Paul Chenauer, flutes, Dave Robinson, percussion, and Clive Fletcher, double bass. It's been marvellous working with this band. I'm chopping this a little prematurely because it's not a concert, but a demonstration of filmmaking. This is a fragment of another collaboration with composer and musician Simon Crozier, who lives on Arran in Scotland. He invented the sound independently and sent it to me, and I shot the film on Dungeness. We didn't discuss subjects or styles. We both worked freely, and I put it together. The second clip is from the same film, but further on. It features the Mortsel forts used in the Second World War. looking like War of the World Triffids. They are off the coast of Whitstable, but the heaving sea that they are in is Folkestone's own. Again, I've moved the film on a little, just so you can see more of the heaving sea changing. I like the way that Simon builds up the sounds slowly within the soundtrack, the creaking and the whistling wind, all getting more and more tense towards the end, and then fading away. Here I've cut the film again to show you the end when Dungeness reappears, and it all looks quite apocalyptic. I was thinking and referring, but not actually stating, about climate change, the projected sea level rise that we will probably all experience in our own lifetime. End of part 1.
Hooray! It worked.
I've got so many windows because you've given me 4 films. I think the poor computer got a little bit confused. I didn't know which vision and which sound to play, but I think that was okay. It was absolutely amazing. That was a stunning film. I love the leaves, the light coming through those leaves was amazing.
And that was all from still photographs.
Incredible.
Just laying them on this program, one on top of the other. And
what program do you use to create that?
Final Cut.
And you do that on the laptop, on the computer you're sitting at now, do you?
I do, the big desk job, yes. I don't have a laptop.
And
I have a phone and 3 big desktop computers.
So the desktop computers and Final Cut, is that a PC or is it a...
No, Apple.
It's an Apple product, is it? How did you learn? Because you were doing photo collage, weren't you?
Yes.
Tell us about...
I've been... I had a very old Final Cut program and I've been gradually learning for years. And I made little family films like... like I can't show you. Anyway, I made family films, and just out of because I seem to be the custodian of all the family photographs, I've got a plan chest full, and so that's how I started, and it just started simply. I mean, I still don't know how to use everything. You only plod through it, really.
So it was having been given those photographs that really spurred you on to start exploring film.
Yes, I mean, I've always liked still photographs, and I've always liked family photographs, the archive quality of them, and the fact that people have kept them for years and years and years, and they're tiny, and using Photoshop and Final Cut meant I could make them look good, and then string them together.
And where did the music, because now there's quite a collaboration with you and musicians, where did that come about?
Just people that I've known, like the Paul Schner was with the Zen Bicycle Band and Awareness, and he is marvelous because he's given me complete freedom to do what I like, and they are free form anyway. They don't use music, they just play, And it's the same as me making films. I just stick them together and there they are.
I would say that you're doing a little bit more than sticking them together. That was incredibly impressive. I particularly loved the bit that you were saying about the guy from the Scottish Highlands and that you filmed at Dungeness. Tell us a bit more about how that came about.
Simon I've known a long time too, and but he used to live in France and has always loved music and always made his own music, and he's just got better and better and better at it, and has provided me with some soundtracks, because now it's quite hard. I used to nick things off iTunes and things, and you can't do that anymore. So I'm lucky to have people who want me to make things to their music.
Yeah, we actually, we've had a few people who've sent us in films with music, and each time we've uploaded them to YouTube, we've had to go through the whole, this is a band, you're using someone's copyright, and then we've had to go, no, we're not using someone's copyright, we have permission. Then that takes about a week before it's released and you're allowed to actually, have it playing on your YouTube channel. So,
well, I don't know if you ever saw that film I made about the mermaids in the sea diving in and out.
Yeah.
And it was to a Charles Trenet soundtrack, which I nicked. But then the powers that be got wind of it, and I had to sing it instead.
That was last Art 360, wasn't it? That was the hilarious last Art 360 when we can't upload them, they won't let us. Yeah, you have to pay. You can, but you have to buy it like you would a photograph.
Yes.
Buy it and pay the royalty, and then you can. Because YouTube, the minute it goes onto YouTube, it goes through all the checks. So
yeah,
people are giving you permission to use, and I think that's it with integrity. That's the way forward. Everyone should be cut a bit of slack in the first bit when they are just learning, and that's the right of the entrepreneur, isn't it?
Yes.
To try stuff.
But it's also happened with some stills of my mermaids. I've had to put black bands across their breasts because they're banned.
Oh, of course, yeah.
A mermaid.
Well, there's a lot of this banning going on, especially now we're all on digital.
Yes.
So you've given me 3 other films. Would you like to show
I suggest that you play the one that I made last night.
Okay.
Which is on your list, Hall Projections.
Okay, all right. So hang on a second.
And I had no script.
Okay.
And it was a pure experiment, but it was so exciting that
I was really impressed with this one.
Yes.
So, okay, Hall of Projections. I've got it here. We just have to make sure that we play the same film. There we are. That's the right one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Hall of Projections. Right. Here we go.
Another aspect of filming that I want to explore, and that is with interference. A person or objects interfering with the film or interfering with the flat film. Sphere might have things reflected on it, as well as the shadow appearing on the projected film. Cut. I have a handy cube here, which may or may not take on part of the film and slightly distort the whole situation. Or I have a globe which will do the same. Maybe the shadows that are created on the film itself become interesting. This is so new, like, well, new to me this evening, that there is no explanation. The end. It's both the objects themselves, the shadows, the corner of the wall are intriguing to me. The change in scale on the globe, but most of all, how it looks on the wall with the plant in front of it. Wonderful. All these white on white experiences. And their shadows, which are just solid black. Really interesting. That's enough.
And we abruptly came to an end. That was enough, you said, and then abruptly it came to an end. That was fascinating. What inspires you to start those experiments? What prompted you last night?
Well, partly I've been very excited about this performance now. And looking at the films sort of flat, and that person whose name I have forgotten, who we saw the night before last on here.
Okay, so.
And in her studio with her prints on the wall.
Vivian.
Yes, yeah.
Well, her work was incredible, wasn't it?
And I thought I would like to project over those. At the time,
yes,
I was watching that film. I thought, and there were a lot of white spaces, and I thought, oh, I could imagine projecting over those. And also she had some three-dimensional objects with the prints on, and I thought I'd like to project onto those, and they would cast shadows. And I thought, well, I'll do it myself straight away. And I think it was partly knowing I was coming on here. It was like an impetus.
Yes. It was so that was so successful as well. I loved the way that the objects took on another life form. They almost like it was almost like a goldfish bowl at one point where I was expecting to see your mermaid swimming. Just started off another train of thought tonight. Film probably.
But I definitely want to carry on with that. That's going to be what I do in the near future.
Isn't that wonderful that you watch that, you watch Vivian's work, which I thought the marks were amazing. Yeah. That's triggered off in you such a creative response, such an urgency that you needed to deal with it then, that you've gone down there, and that could take you on a whole new journey.
It could, and I know, and I've also got the luxury because of what the films I'm doing for awareness. And I've got to get through the whole. Well, I'm hoping to get through the whole of their CD. I've done about 7 or 8 or 7 tracks so far, but I have complete freedom with what I do. I can use their music, and mostly when I hear the tracks, ideas just jump into my head, and I just have to work out how to do it. And so I'm lucky because I've got an outlet. Yes,
you've got such a creative brain, haven't you? You really are using the creative side of your brain so much.
Well, the other side's not much cop.
The logic side. I think it is.
Calculating side.
I think the logic side must be working quite well, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to master the computer programs that you have to master in order to make this go from something that you're imagining in your head into a reality, which you have done.
But a lot of the programs are really for amateurs now, and they're quite hands-on and quite, you drag and drop, and it's quite relatively easy. It just looks frightening because there's so much to choose from.
It's easy for you to say it's easy. For the rest of us, it's terrifying.
Oh, look, 2 questions. What are they?
You love questions. This is normally, when I click on this, it's normally you.
I know.
With all your questions. So Fran says, has the filming started in lockdown or before?
Before. Well, all my filming in the world, yes.
Did you start the idea of filming before lockdown?
Yes.
It wasn't something that you've just, I think you've grown it, haven't you, during lockdown?
I have. I've certainly, with the awareness, certainly with the awareness film, because I've just been able just to work through things, do them. You'll see some of them on here, and no trouble.
Yeah, you've been able to immerse yourself and get into flow, into the happy place.
Yes.
Flow, which is where we're all seeking to be, isn't it? In that happy place of enough inspiration but enough quiet to be able to get on and create what we need to create.
Do you think we ought to see another film?
Would you like me to show another film?
Or is there another question? What's the other question?
Oh, the other question, hang on a minute. Now, look, you're playing with me now. Right, okay. Just wondered if Annie has thought of using the sounds of the environment she is using to make her own audio. There is a simple sound program called Audacity.
Oh,
this was of interest. She's writing it down now.
Who wrote that?
That was more about sharing.
Right.
Than it was about a question. But any questions, do give them to Annie, because Annie loves questions.
I like asking them.
You like asking lots of questions. I'm going to try next. We're going to try awareness. Okay.
Hold on.
There's awareness.
What about End of the Wood?
Oh, you just told me awareness.
I beg your pardon. End of the Wood. Sorry.
I'll do End of the Wood. Okay, End of the Wood. Right. So hang on. I'm going to share it. Is that the right one?
Yes.
That's the right one. So now I've just got to go in and find the right audio. End of the Wood. There we go.
Another film I made to a Simon Crozier soundtrack was The End of the Wood. The title, as it suggests, is the end and destruction of woodlands, which is happening everywhere. But this hasn't been made for television or the general public at all. It's just my own filmic essay, using places I go to personally, plus some snippets I found on the internet to demonstrate a bigger picture. The sharp metallic sounds in the soundtrack reminded me of circular saws. I've cut the film here and moved on just to show you how I've embedded some found film into my film, showing tree cutting in America of yesteryear. No health and safety here. seems almost comic, but I'm mixing it with some contemporary film. And this clip is actually a health and safety film. How to be dressed when cutting trees in a forest. Again, I've done some savage cutting of my own on the soundtrack and the film to move it along to show you how the film ends with a contemporary scene of deforestation ready for building, a worldwide phenomenon. This virtual ballet of diggers was of interest to me in itself. At the end, despite the huge destruction, I planted a seed of hope.
That was great. Hang on a second. Let me just make sure we're not going to get any sound from that. It's on the different screens. That was fascinating because there's a lot of humour. Is that important to you, humour?
It seems to come my way, and I enjoy humour. I've had tragic times in my life, but I seem to have risen above it. So I find humour uplifting.
And do you think you seek it out because you find
I don't know, it just comes my way. I mean, what was humorous in that film were those men with those little hats on and their braces bouncing about on those planks, cutting that enormous tree down with a saw. I just found that it was like a sort of Keystone Cops thing, or
it was actually a really serious message in that film.
Yes, I just like mixing it up, I think. And I'm not afraid of humour.
No.
Some people are. Some people only want to be serious. But I like it all.
I'm surprised that Fran hasn't made a comment yet about all the amazing shadows that are on your wall behind you.
Oh,
There's
right.
a film actually happening on your wall behind you, and it looks like. Do you remember that guy when you're on the beach and you've got the hand puppet? What was he called? And he got this appearance.
Yes. Oh, what do you mean?
Mr. Punch.
Punch and Judy. Yes.
Behind you. I can see a film literally happening on the wall behind you. You've got Mr.
I think it's that box.
Do you think it's the tea box?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew you'd be looking at them, Fran. I've been looking at them. If only Annie could turn round. She's got an entire film going on behind her.
I'll do that later.
Yeah, Mr. Punch is sitting there ready to go. The other thing that really stands out is your affinity with nature, whether it's water, whether it's trees, whether it's the natural world. Do you think that's something that's important to you as well?
Yes, it always has been. Because I started off as a landscape painter and lived in the countryside and used to love going for long walks down the chalk pits, and just and also for film, of course. It's a vehicle because you can walk through the woods or you can stand still by. My favorite thing at the moment is a canal, and it flows past you, and the sea is always changing right in front of you. So the natural world I do love, and always have.
And has that become more so during this time where you haven't been out?
Yes, because I haven't seen anyone.
Well, we have on screen, but we have.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Louisa is saying, this is an interesting question, and one that I was on is on my list here as well.
Oh yes.
Are you a bit of a film buff? Do you watch a wide range of films, and are there any that you are particularly inspired by?
I love old black and white films, mostly for their not really the content, but how they look. But I am exploring contemporary filmmakers, and yes, I tend not to go for gangster stuff, or I've got quite a broad interest in film, and all the wildlife programs now, like Countryfile or any wildlife films, are so well made now. You know, it's just a television program, but it's absolutely beautifully made, and that teaches me a lot too. I mean, I'm doing all my filming on my phone. That is my camera of choice, and but it gives me flexibility, and it's discreet. You can go out filming and everyone's got a phone and no one thinks. I mean, there's on Countryfile the other day, there was this bloke with this enormous camera, like, I don't know, about 4 feet long and massive, and lots of knobs up the side, and you think, how on earth do you work that? And don't the birds see you coming? Just incredible.
That was interesting because that resonates with Zach Adams' film, doesn't it? Where he was saying he walks around and he has his camera at like stomach height, and then people tend to pay him any attention.
Yeah.
And you can just take candid shots. Your Mr. Punch has turned into a crow in a nest because we're
yes, it has. I can see it.
We're agreeing with you now, Bruce, because that is definitely turned into a crow in a nest because we're talking about and that is interesting. In candid photography, do you go out and try and take that kind of candid photography?
I have done. I did, again, for Simon, I did this film, which I haven't shown on here. The music was like the waves or the ripples of a lake going out and out and out and out and out and out. And I thought of waves of people, and I don't usually film people very much. And it started with the train journey from here to London. I started filming, and then I devoted the whole day to filming people and put it to this soundtrack, including people in the Tate Gallery going up escalators, and people in Leicester Square or Trafalgar Square, and people passing you by endlessly. It was like, but so yes, I do, but it's not my preferred subject.
No, your preferred subject is more the countryside and the
although because of those shadows I was creating last night, and want to film, you know, this interference thing, I might use people. It would be, I like the idea of people, you like projecting something onto a wall and then people interfering by, they'll all have to wear white though. You'll be all right, Lesley.
I am white.
all walking past backwards and forwards, interfering with the film that's shown on the flat background.
There was a film that I showed years ago when we did the exhibition at the Saatchi Gallery, and that was a projection. And every time people walked past, the camera recalibrated all the images, so they were interfering with the projection, but not in the image. They were actually reorientating the images that were actually being projected. It was amazing.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You came to that exhibition, I know, because Griselda was exhibiting.
Yes, yes.
That was incredible. If you could work out how to do that, was amazing. It was almost like the people were moving through the digital language, and it was recompressing and making a different image. It was amazing.
And digitizing them.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. The power and the of the imagination to come up with those kind of things is just incredible.
But if filmmaking, I don't think I would have been able to do, because I trained as a painter, and it wasn't a digital age, it was a stone age. And if I've been lucky, because my interest in film has coincided with technology and digital equipment and, you know, the programs and all the rest of it, and I can do it. But although I love the old films, celluloid, all the rest of it, I love it, but I don't think I would be able to do it. It's more of a craft, isn't it? It's more, well, it is now.
They're a completely different medium, aren't they?
Yes.
The digital and the analog, and
Yeah.
you know, the same with photography. But they've all got their place, and you know, embracing the new and then also bringing forward all of that historical that you do. You embed the historical into your films, is, you know, to get the best out of everything. Although Sophie said she made a moving image for her MA. I love film. I'm a big fan of film. I did photography. My photography was all analog and all with natural light, and I really didn't want to go into digital. But now I'm absolutely obsessed with film.
Yeah.
It's just so exciting. What's the future? What do you think the future is for you in film?
For me and film, well, I want to go on doing it, but I mean, it's like anyone can do it now. Anyone can do it, but not everyone does do it, but it's what you do with it, really. So it doesn't, I don't care what other people are doing with it. I just like exploring my own path. And
compete with yourself, collaborate with others.
Yes, and collaborating with others.
Yes, compete with, but only compete with yourself. Life isn't a competition.
I'll just show you something from my collection over there.
Yes, there was your section on the side before we show your other film. We've got one more to go.
This image here is a postcard that I made when I first moved to Folkestone, and it's an very old photograph of the woods along the Lees, 150 years ago. And this little man sitting on the seat, it sort of spoke to me, and I liked the idea of looking in on him, and we have this connection, and it's like looking into the past, but it's the present. And so that's sort of, this was before I got into film, so this was when I first came to Folkestone, about 2010, I suppose.
It's got a very filmic quality to it, though.
Sorry?
It's got a very filmic quality to it, though, with the way you're looking at the audience, but also
but you feel as though, am I looking at the audience or am I looking at him?
I feel you're looking at the audience, the people.
I feel I'm looking at him.
Isn't that strange? Yeah.
We're both looking in. He's looking out and I'm looking in.
Yes, at him.
But that sort of thing started me off.
That was your initial inspiration.
Yes, I started by moving to Folkestone, and there was this antique fair they used to have here every week. And you could get old postcards of Folkestone, and it intrigued me. I started doing lots of things with them. And
have you got some more down there you can show us?
Sorry?
Have you got some more down there you can show us?
No.
You keep looking over there. I'm like, she's going to bring
Well,
something out in
no,
it.
I haven't. I have got. It's not the same at all. But I have got this metal. Do you remember last time?
I do.
It was Simone's things I loved.
Yes.
The prints she had done onto metal.
Yes.
And this orb I made out of this tree in Photoshop and put it onto the canal.
Wow. And then you've printed that onto metal.
I didn't print it.
A clever person.
Someone in Germany did.
So, wow.
For not very much money.
Really?
Yeah, they're called Whitewall, this company.
Oh gosh. And that's now completely fine. You're not going to be able to wipe that off the surface. It's fixed.
No, waterproof, everything. Wow. You can put your glass of wine on it. And there's another one I did on the Lees in Folkestone, like this orb, which is hovering over the Lees.
These are
There's the sea in the background.
They're stunning.
But the quality of the metal, they've got lots of different finishes, really makes a difference to the image.
And are you selling those metal?
I haven't tried.
I think they're stunning.
And there's another one I did. It was all this sort of visitation of the planets.
Yeah.
And that was near the Swale Bridge near Sheppey, on that low flat tide. And
like a prisoner. Like a prisoner.
Yes.
That's why I had that question about do you watch films, because I was expecting someone to come around the corner with a knife at any moment. It was all very dark. There's a lot of darkness, and that's wonderful because it's juxtaposed with this amazing humor, and that's what makes your film so accessible for everyone to watch. It'd be very interesting if you were to sell those pieces. And I love the fact that, again, they're from a collaboration in your mind with Simone Riley, that,
yes.
her work, and that inspired you. And then yesterday, or the other day, you saw Vivian Dixon's, and that inspired you. That, for me, is true artistry.
And the musicians. So there's always something to bounce off.
Yeah.
Or to play with.
Yeah. Shall we show your other film?
Okay. What number are we on now?
We're on Awareness now. This is last.
So that's the last one, isn't it?
Yes, this is the last one.
All right.
Minutes. So I've got to work out.
What's the time? Are you all right for time?
You're fine, don't you?
No, you're not going to throw me off or anything.
I'm not going to throw you off. Don't worry. Share. Right. This is the last one. Let me just check that we've got the last. That's the right one, isn't it? Yes. Awareness. Okay. And then I have to go back in here and do that.
This final set of films, which I will only show you short clips of, were made for a band called Awareness last year and this year, and have kept me busy throughout all of the lockdowns. Awareness's sound is very instinctive and distinctive. 4 musicians coming together without any written music or pre-planning. The subjects and structures of my films are also freeform, in the sense that I listen to the music and the ideas seem to jump into my head. Obviously, I have to construct the ideas physically to film them, but mostly it's all really exciting to do. This film, A Bird in the Hedge, was conceived while walking around my local streets in Folkestone when it snowed earlier this year. This is another example of reality and fantasy surrealism, the real snow scenes, but superimposed birds. I've animated the birds so they bob and flutter and fly. When I lived in London, we had a very tame robin that visited us, even came indoors, and a blackbird who tried to copy the robin, but was more cautious. So this pair of birds are personal to me. 4 of my films can be seen magically on the online Pure Arts catalogue, thanks to Hildegard. Nearly all of my films, plus older ones, can be seen on Vimeo. If you Google Annie Catford Vimeo, they miraculously appear. Thank you, Lesley, for the opportunity to do this. Thank you as well to the Zen Bicycle Band, to Simon Crozier, and to Awareness for encouraging me to collaborate with you. I love it.
That was incredible.
And that was lucky because that snow was only there for a day or so. And it wasn't planned. You know, I just went out in the snow and I wasn't planning to put the birds on there. They just came together in my head.
In your imagination. You mentioned the magazine and the fact that people can see your work in the magazine. I'm just going to share that with people so they can see.
I think it's incredible that it's animated. You can see the films on the pages.
There you go.
It's amazing.
So on the pages, as you click across, you see the little arrow come up. That's the film we were just watching.
Yes, and that one.
And that one there. Yeah, so that's the great...
And that's Hildegard. Clever Hildegard.
It's the issue platform that we use for the digital magazine. So you can either find it on digital on issue, or you can go onto the Pure Arts Group website and find it. And that gives you all the contact details for all the artists who are taking part in this wonderful event throughout April. But that have been able to, if we'd done a printed magazine, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
No. And also, if it had been at, where's it gone? Do you remember this place?
Yes. At Powder Mills.
If it had been just hanging stuff on walls like usual, all sorts of things wouldn't have happened.
No.
We wouldn't have, lots of people wouldn't have spoken together or communicated. And it's down to you, Lesley, for being really creative with how you've pulled all this together, pulled and pushed. Amazing.
Shoved even in some cases. What it's done, I mean, let's not, kind of put down the impact of COVID. It's been a terrible thing for a lot of people. But what it has done for those of us who are quite highly innovative and have got the wherewithal to do so, has given us the opportunity to try things. And if I'd have had my time taken up having to hang exhibitions at the Powder Mills, twice a year, I wouldn't have had the time and the energy to be able to think about doing something different. So this has given us that opportunity, and I think amazing to see your films like that. We would my plan is, as we go forward, is to go into a hybrid delivery. Can you hear something as well?
What?
I could hear a bit of background noise. It's all right. I've turned that one off.
Not me.
So the idea is going forward is that we'll do hybrid. So in future, I would love you to be showing your films, and they'll be up on a big screen in whatever exhibition space that we're in. We've always shown films, but not to the degree.
And people will be interacting with them.
Yes.
And they must wear white.
And they must wear white, or be very white like me.
Or we'll give them white shrouds to put on.
Exactly. But it's an exciting time. It's exciting times, and I'm really pleased that you have pushed yourself to do that, and you pushed yourself to create some amazing work, which now will be there. Fran said, "Is your work copyrighted?"
No.
Well, you probably need to look at that. You need to get some advice, some legal advice, and copyright your work, because what you don't want is, like, you know, these naughty people that come along and just, you know, borrow it off the internet.
Oh, them.
Yes, those people, and you'll have nowhere to go. I think as an artist, the copyright is with you, but there is ways of, you know, protecting your IP. And AN Artists is a good place to start looking at that kind of thing.
Okay.
So have a look at. They're a great organisation that provide advice and such like for artists on that kind of thing. So I would recommend you have a look at that. But definitely look at protecting your intellectual. It's not so much your copyright, because that stays with you as the artist, but your intellectual property is what you're looking.
Okay.
Protect your IP. And I agree with you, Fran. That's something that Annie should be looking at.
Does anyone else out there do that? Does anyone else do that?
Any lawyers around? Would
anyone like a grape?
I was interviewed just earlier today by a guy, and his webcast was called Profit from Legal. Maybe I should ask him. Noel Bagwell in America. He interviewed me earlier, but we weren't talking about IP. But yeah, I think IP is a big thing, and you yourself said, you know, you fell foul of it, so you need to know.
Yeah, but I still nick stuff like that film with those with those men bouncing around with the saws and things. I did nick that.
There may be a point where it goes out of.
Yes, it's very, very old.
It looks very old. Thank you so much, Annie.
Oh, thank you, Lesley, and thank you everyone on that list.
Yes.
Oh, look, there's a question down there.
No, we've answered that one, Fran. Okay. Don't panic. I wouldn't let you go without answering questions. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone who's been watching on Facebook and on YouTube, where we've been live streaming. I love the fact.
Further away because it's better.
Don't fall down the stairs, please. Because we had the comedy plaster last time. We don't want the comedy ambulance call this time. Annie goes backwards down the stairs. So thank you for everyone who's been watching us on live stream, and
thank you for all your comments.
Yes, and for interacting. Tomorrow is Saturday and Sunday, so we have our pre-records premiering on the website and on YouTube at 6 o'clock. We aren't going live on Crowdcast. We're only doing that during the week. But over the weekend, we'll be premiering Julia Desch, who's a textile artist, and Stephanie Else. Annie's leaving us. Stephanie Else, who is a glass artist. And she's trying to make another reflection. And they'll be premiering over the weekend. So please do tune in to YouTube and Facebook and our website to see those. And we'll be chatting about those on Monday. And on Monday, I'll be interviewing Mark Austin, who is a wood turner and carver and sculptor. So I think that'll be fascinating. I'm really looking forward to that. So have a lovely weekend, everyone. I'm going to go and rest my voice. And Annie's going to spend a lot of time playing with shadows.
And I've got to take all these plants that I carried upstairs. I've got to take them all back downstairs.
It's like a Frida Kahlo sketch.
Well, I'm covering up the nasty bits.
We won't talk about them. Thank you so much, everyone. And Vivian, thank you for joining us, Vivian. And you were a real inspiration to Annie. And that's what brought out that next film. So we're very grateful.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce and Peter. And
Yes.
the crow's gone now.
And Jonathan.
Yeah.
The crow's gone. It's something else now.
Oh.
It looks like a telescope or a Kim Jong-un missile.
I was thinking, you see, this is where your mind is mad. I was thinking it looked more like an owl sitting on a tree. I'm just nicer. I told you that you've definitely watched a few horror movies. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Annie, so much.
Thank you.
Thank
you for the opportunity, Lesley.
You're more than welcome. And if you want to contact Annie, please find her page in the Art360 magazine and contact her. She's, I'm sure, more than happy to work with anyone on making films.
Yeah.
Passion.
Make a film of you.
All right. And see you all again on Monday. Take care.
Okay. Bye.